In every memorable drama, there is always one scene that lingers in the audience's heart long after the episode ends. A moment so tender, so unexpectedly intimate, that it instantly becomes iconic. For viewers of this drama, that moment has undeniably arrived in what many now call the sweetest scene of the entire series. A quietly emotional encounter where a drunken Bai Lu is gently embraced by Dylan Wang, leading to an unconscious yet touching gesture that sent audiences into a frenzy of emotions. Rather than relying on dramatic dialogue or grand romantic declarations, the scene stood out for its subtlety, vulnerability, and emotional realism. It was a moment built not on passion alone, but on trust, closeness, and unspoken affection. The scene unfolds during a quiet, emotionally charged moment. Bai Lu's character, overwhelmed and slightly drunk, loses her usual composure. Her steps are unsteady, her words unclear, and her emotions laid bare. In contrast to her usual strength, she appears fragile, almost childlike in her vulnerability. Dylan Wang's character responds not with urgency or drama, but with calm restraint. He gently pulls her into his arms, steadying her and offering silent reassurance. The embrace is natural and protective, reflecting a relationship built on emotional safety rather than impulse. Viewers immediately sensed the shift in atmosphere. The scene slowed down, allowing the audience to focus on expressions, breathing, and the quiet closeness between the two characters. What truly made the moment unforgettable was what happened next. Still half-conscious and unaware of her actions, Bai Lu's character instinctively leaned closer while being held. In her disoriented state, she gently bit Dylan Wang's neck, an innocent, unconscious action rather than a deliberate one. The gesture was brief and subtle, yet emotionally powerful. It was not portrayed as provocative, but rather as a natural response born from closeness and comfort. Dylan Wang's reaction was equally restrained. Instead of shock or exaggerated response, he simply froze for a moment, visibly surprised yet gentle, as if afraid to break the fragile intimacy of the moment. This delicate exchange instantly became one of the most talked about scenes of the drama. What resonated most with viewers was how carefully the scene was handled. There was no unnecessary exaggeration, no dramatic music overpowering the moment. Instead, the focus remained on emotion, on trust, vulnerability, and the quiet connection between two people who clearly care for one another. Fans praised the scene for being romantic without being excessive. Many commented that the sweetness came from the innocence of Bai Lu's unconscious gesture and Dylan Wang's protective response. It felt genuine, natural, and emotionally grounded. Dylan Wang's performance in this scene received widespread praise. His character's reaction, calm, controlled, yet emotionally charged, revealed a depth of feeling without the need for words. Rather than pushing Bai Lu away or making light of the situation, he maintained the embrace, subtly tightening his hold as if to shield her. His expression conveyed surprise, concern, and tenderness all at once, allowing viewers to understand just how much he cares. Many fans noted that this reaction elevated the scene, transforming it from a simple romantic moment into something deeply emotional. Equally compelling was Bai Lu's portrayal of vulnerability. Known for her strong and expressive performances, she showed a completely different side in this scene. Her character's drunken state stripped away defenses, revealing raw emotion and unconscious affection. Viewers found this version of her character especially endearing. The gentle, unintentional bite was seen not as boldness, but as a sign of trust, an instinctive reaction that only occurs when someone feels safe. Many fans replayed the scene multiple times, analyzing every detail, from body language to facial expressions. Some even commented that the scene felt more powerful than traditional confession scenes, precisely because nothing was explicitly said. From a storytelling perspective, the scene also marked an important turning point. It subtly shifted the dynamic between the two characters, suggesting that their bond had moved beyond uncertainty into something deeper and more intimate. Without verbal confirmation, the audience could clearly sense that their feelings were no longer one-sided or unspoken. The quiet intimacy spoke louder than dialogue ever could. The scene's success was also attributed to thoughtful direction and cinematography. Soft lighting, close framing, and minimal movement allowed emotions to take center stage. The camera lingered just long enough to let the moment breathe, without making it feel intrusive. This careful balance ensured that the scene remained tender and respectful, enhancing its emotional impact. In an era where dramatic twists and loud romance often dominate screens, this scene stood out for its restraint. It reminded viewers that love does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it reveals itself in the quietest, most unexpected ways. The gentle embrace, the unconscious gesture, and the emotional stillness combined to create a moment that felt deeply human. The scene of a drunken Bai Lu being hugged by Dylan Wang and unconsciously showing affection has rightfully earned its place as one of the drama's most cherished moments, not because it was bold or dramatic, but because it was sincere.